A rough map I threw together. This is the profile from October that we're going to follow up, and that's right here on this trench. So it's a 3-meter trench that we did. So basically, where you're standing, we hit this huge feature. We didn't define it. We didn't get the west side. That's east facing the water. We didn't get the west side of it. All we know is this is some kind of weird pit. But I'm hoping what we're going to find is it's a trench. And if it's a trench, it will really fit well with the theory of a 3-sided log redoubt. This is an interpretive sign from Fort Ticonderoga. This redoubt would have been much more labor intensive than the one we have. This redoubt actually is 300 meters long. Ours is 30 meters long. This one held about 1,200 to 1,300 men. Ours held 25 men. This thing had artillery guns. Ours had 1-pound swivel guns, maybe just 2 of them. But we don't know that for sure. I don't think we had a firing step on ours at all. Okay. The redoubt that we have was built by 50 men in one day, and they not only built the redoubt, but they built the guard room. I think the guard room was prefabricated, and they just threw it together. There would have been an earthen berm, I would assume, on the water side to try to protect themselves from ship cannon if the French came up. But this is that huge log curtain. I think this is kind of what we're looking for. Mm-hmm. And that would explain this huge feature. When I say huge, at least over a meter. It probably is going to be a 2-meter wide feature if it is a trench. So we're going to try to get the whole thing. Yep. And what we had was middle 19th century ceramics up on the top of the fill, which really threw me off. A polychrome hand-painted whiteware, 1850 thereabouts. But as we came down, we were hitting a lot of organics and E, and I was thinking it was a privy. But I'm having second thoughts. It just doesn't look like a privy wall. It's too big. The walls aren't straight. This might be the remains of the logs. The other thing we're going to be looking for is there was a lot of iron mixed up in the plow zone above it and in it too. Not as much in the fill, but right around a lot of iron. I think this thing was built with iron to hold it together if you're going to be mounting swivel guns on it. And there's a 1-pound swivel gun. So that's what it looks like. So there's a picture of a good one on a ship. So those are what they would have had on this redoubt. So this is a really rough sketch, but this is our site. There's the water. We're standing right in here. This is the plan, the 1759 plan of the redoubt number 2, which is on the point. We're on redoubt number 1 here, which is farther away from the fort itself. It looks like it had about 100-foot long main wall, 2 side walls, 50 feet or so, with a guardhouse right in the middle. And we're hoping that this here is the remnants of the earth berm of the main wall, north-south wall, and the feature we hit, that pit feature, was just on the west side of it. So this is the remains of the earth berm. The pit feature would have run this way if we're right. So if we nail it over here, I feel pretty good about it. If we don't nail it, I'm wrong. So
it's off 70.5, right?
Go. Okay. Well, here we go. Now, if you look at it superficially, it looks like it's heading more in a southeast direction instead of a north-south direction, but that doesn't concern me at all because this thing's been torn up and refilled, if I'm right. And there's also vertical logs, so this could have been where a vertical is or what have you, but there it is here. It's more, the color is obvious, but it's also the soil is extremely different compaction. This is a more dense B, kind of going into a C soil, which you'd expect. And this is a gravelly, loose fill. Definitely a fill. And there it is. In fact, it comes out right out and leaves a mold of the subsoil. So here it is. That's what we're looking for. Silty, very few, has pebbles. Then you get this loosely compacted. And here we are on the other side. See how it's silty again?
So you think the B is the...
It's not necessarily B. It's just discolored from organics and fill. It's a fill. I like it. See it?
Yeah.
Let's get that cleaned up. We have it right here and right there. It was really much more defined when we did this pit, but the soil was drier. I think the wet has kind of mucked it up.
No, clean it off with the trowels. It might show better. They must have been right sitting on either side.
You know, that could have been a really intense little fire if somebody burned it like they burned a stump and it just really got hot.
And all the way down in.
And especially if it was contained within earth and bounded by the earth. So you think that's to scale?
Pretty much.
Really?
Yeah.
So that guardhouse, if that's to scale, is about the size of a bathroom.
It's an outhouse.
It's an outhouse.
25 men in there.
Hey, it could be the well for all we know.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't get the layout. I mean, it's just, now I'm thinking this way, and I'm trying to envision, how this would play out.
I mean, it's obviously not.
You got corner towers, so you get two guns.
It looks like there's something going on. Yeah, I think that's probably where the two swivel guns are.
Yeah, eat dirt. That's good for you. I see swivel guns in the corner.
Like the worm.
And if it was oriented, if this was the focus, then you could see that. Yeah, I could.